This is a twin-sided double zippered pouch, which was asked for quite some time ago by one of our group members. And when we decided that we were going to do some bedroom bathroom accessories all to match, I thought perfect time to think about this and get one out of the bag, design it, and see how we ended up. Now, I think it's quite nice, and I hope you'll enjoy it. Okay, so I've got my outer material, and I need to cut for the outer 12 5/8 by 14 7/8. So that would be basically 12.5 plus an eighth. And with this ruler, I can move it over. Move it over an eighth. Make sure that I'm not. Yeah, that I am. Oh, actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it 12 6/8 because I can see that that line is not completely straight. So I'm going to cut it. I moved it over a quarter, so I'm going to cut it at 12.5, but with that added quarter, it's going to mean that it's 12 3/4. So I am going to have to take an eighth off of this when I get there. Yeah. I'm just going to move that ruler down and cut again. Yeah, right, okay. Now I can turn my fabric around because, and I'll trim it in a minute, because that line, it may not be long enough, but I want this length to be 14 7/8. So if I cut it at 15, yeah, just lining up my top, and you can see what I mean about a dip in there in a minute. But anyway, I'm just gonna, bring it down, and where's my note? Note is there. So what did I say? If I cut it at 15, which is here, and make sure I'm straight, watching my white line, yeah. If I cut it at 15, okay, I know I've got to take an eighth off of that. Now, obviously, I just got to finish off those cuts, and I can get rid of that. So then, taking that away, because I just find that easier for me to start with, I can take my normal ruler, and I can say, right, just a minute, this is supposed to be 12, what is it supposed to be? Oh, God help me. 12 5/8. Yeah. So from that wonky bit, I want to take an eighth, which I can do with my ordinary ruler, halfway on the 1/4 inch mark, right? Which, as you can see, has got rid of that little dip. Yeah, so that's correct. And then I know that's got to come off, but what did we want? We wanted 4 and 14, so this should be 15, which it is. Yep, that's 15. So I need to take off the selvage plus an eighth, all the way down. So that's my outer pouch bit done, which actually is going to go that way, which means the birds are sideways, but who cares. Right, so that's the first bit. Then I need to do the liner is a complete square. Oh no, it's not quite square. 12 5/8, and 12 and 7/8, and I got to do 2 of them. So I'm going to switch you off while I just do that. I've just cut a straight edge on here on my 0, 0, and what I'm going to do next is cut 13 inches because we want 12 and this and 12 and that. So easiest thing with this is just to cut off 13 inches in the first place, and then you can deal with it later. Then you can say, well, yeah, deal with it later, right? So if I just cut them, the reason why we're having to do silly darn measurements is because we're trying to fit to a 30 centimetre zip. Now, you know, why in this country, now we're not part of the EU, we have to still go by, you know, the French deciding that that's the best for us, or whatever, I don't know. But, oh, while we're at it, I might as well just cut off my selvage. Right, so there's my 13 inch. So I've made these two 13-inch squares, but I know that to make it fit a metric zip, and I'm turning it around because I can see there's a wonk on here, so that's the bit I'm going to get rid of. I want it to be 12 and 5/8 and 12 and 7/8. So I need to come in an 1/8, come in an 1/8, come in an 1/8. Right? Is that, am I doing it the right way around, or go out an 1/8? Go out an 1/8. Make your mind up, Jack. Keeping it square. Yep. Go out an 1/8 and cut on my 13th line. Yeah, which hopefully gets rid of, please do not fray, you mad thing, which gets rid of that bit of a wonk on that outside line. So now this is doubled up, so I got the 2 of them in one go. So now, and I'm doing it this way because I can see there's a bit of selvage left there. This way round, that's correct that way, 12 and 7/8. Now we want 12 and 5/8, which is 12 and a half. So I'm going to put my this, give myself an extra 1/8 on the edge of here. Yeah, give myself an extra 1/8 and say, well then that's 12 and a half. So I've got extra 1/8 this end and cut that off. So now I got 2 lining pieces the right size. Then back to the original material for the divider. Okay, so obviously I'm going to write up all the sizes for you, or I have already written up all the sizes for you, but we've got our outer piece, and using that as a template, cut the fusible fleece, yeah, and our divider piece, and using that as a template, cut the fusible fleece. Okay. Now, there's a couple of things that we need to do now. These are the 2 lining pieces, and this is going to be my handle around the front. The first thing I need to do is to just give myself an option of knowing where the centre of everything is. So I am just gonna get a little tiny pair of scissors like this, and then what I'm gonna do, I mean, you could use you could use a friction pen, but to be honest with you, it's just as easy. I'm gonna take the teeniest nick out of that corner and that corner, tiny little nick, yeah. As you can see then, that's marked my centres, both sides. Fold it the other way, put my centres together, my corners together, and do exactly the same. And take the tiniest nick out of there, and the tiniest nick out of there. So now I know where my centre points are all around the fabric. Yeah? Okay, and I am going to do exactly the same with the linings. I can do it together because they're exactly the same size. Tiniest nick. Oop. Because we need to know where our centres are when we're making this. They're exactly the same. Okay, so our two lining pieces. So I've nicked those so we know where our middle centres are for all that. The next thing I'm going to have to do is go to the iron and reading, mine is a heat and bond fusible, and reading the instructions that come with it, I'm going to go and fuse these pieces, the divider and the outer. I'm going to go and fuse that with the iron, and then we'll come back. Okay, so now we've got this has been fused. This is one piece of my liner, which I've got facing the good side towards me. I've had to cut my zips, but if you've got a 30 centimetre zip, or 11 3/4 if you're doing it in English. Okay, so with the liner facing upwards, we want to pin the zip facing upwards to the top, so it's longer than it is wider, you know, right? Then take your strip and place over the top, and then making sure that you are pinning all 3 layers together as you go.
Did you know he was Union?
No, but it wouldn't have mattered.
Why not?
Pin
Because it was the first
the 3 of the layers together.
Mama?
So that they're all equal at the top.
I heard it.
Okay. Making sure I've got that. Put more pins in. So all 3 layers are sandwiched together and all equal height at the top.
Do you like? You look lovely.
Right.
Yeah.
So then I'll open the zip a little bit to get me started, and then when I get to where it's lumpy I can close the zip up again. Alright, so then I'm going to put that under the sewing machine and sew 1/4 inch in all the way down with the zipper foot. Okay, so I brought this back from the sewing machine and I've sewed it all down. So now we can open up that first part of the zip and bring it back, so that what we want to do basically is fold it back and then pop a pin in to hold it tight away from the zip, both sides. Yep, so this side and that side, you see. So I just put a few pins in to hold it away from the zip, and that holds the lining away from the zip too. And then I'm going to go back under the sewing machine and top stitch 1/8 of an inch all the way down here, all the way. Okay, for the other part of the liner now, we need to pin the zip to the top of that, but this time still the zip open, the zip facing upwards, but facing the other direction, because last time we had the zip was facing that way. Now we've got the zip facing this way. Okay, then we need to take our original piece of thing where it should look like this, yeah, and turn it over so that you've got the wrong side of the material looking at you. And again, that edge then has to be pinned to that zip and the bit below. So keeping everything again the same height. You may have to watch this a couple of times over to know that you're doing it correctly. Okay, but I'm hoping. You got to remember, when I do these things, I sit and I work them through mentally in my head, trying to judge if I do that, will it come out the right way? And so sometimes I might get it wrong and then I have to start again. But so that is pinned with the zip was originally in there, and then we put this one on top. And as you can see now, by putting this one on top, the both ends are going to end up the same way, so that's why we turned the zip around. Okay, so now I need to go and sew this with the zipper foot under the machine. Okay, so I've just sewn that edge, bit of a blip there because that's where my pouch bit was, but never mind, that's my zip bit was. So I've just sewn that bit there. Now, so now you should have a piece that looks like this, where you've got, oops, a liner that way and a liner this way, and oh, that's what we haven't done. You see I've top stitched that. We need now to go and fold this under so it's well away from the zip, a couple of pins. Okay, fold back the linings and the top part like that. One more pin. Oops. So now what we want to do is top stitch along there, which will neaten this lining behind, yeah? Okay. Are you watching carefully now? This is the liner, yeah? So good sides together, bring it up, making sure that you're keeping it straight on your edges here, and then we're going to pin it to the back side of this zip. Where's my pins? And as usual, when I do anything, I do the middle, same as when I'm doing blocks. The outside, just so I know I got it right. And then fill in the gap. Now, you need to watch carefully. I'm picking it up, I'm turning it over, okay? I'm taking our piece that has been fleeced, lined, and I'm laying it down to sandwich that top zip again, then repinning it, keeping all 3 layers together. See how that's dipped down a bit? I want my zip at the top. I hope you can see what my fingers are doing. Because what I'm doing, and I just feel it, I feel it. Oh. I've opened the zip a little bit to make life easier for me. And then this last one, and make sure that it's lined at the top with my liner, and then lined at the top with my outer. Okay, and now we're going to sew 1/4 inch with a zipper foot all the way down there. So I've got my zipper foot on, yeah? I've got it on a walking foot, my zipper foot, because this is an awful lot of material that we're going through now. Okay, so roughly, and I'm going to have it, come on babies, do it for mummy. I want it on the right hand side, so I moved it this way towards you, and that's about 1/4 inch. I'm using my eye. Taking my pins out as I go. Oh, if there's a pin in it, I can stab myself. Take your time. And coming up, right, I'm coming up to where the zipper is. So I'm going to lift my foot, get hold of that zipper, and move it down past, and put it all back down again, so that it doesn't make my stitches go wonky. And remember, when you're lifting your foot like that, there's always, if you pull it right up, there's always a little bit more to it, yeah? If you're trying to get past your foot. Okay. Now, so that's the top bit sewn in. If I open it up, and I can show you this now, better on the other camera I suppose, but now, oh, it should look like this, in as much as that zipper is entirely in, yeah, and beneath it now is a pocket. Just one side is a pocket. So the next stage is, because now we've got one pouch in, Yeah, so let's turn it round so we can see what we're doing. The next stage is that liner needs to be folded back on itself and up to the top line of this zip. Where's my pins? Running out. Okay, keeping everything in line as usual on the sides, you know. I'm going to open that zip up there because I want it to, I want to be able to fiddle it a bit as I'm under the thing. So this is on the top line of the zip. Yep. Turn it over. I got a bit of stuff going on there. Right. And then the next thing we need to do is take the outer, and exactly the same way as we've done before, keeping everything nice and straight on the edges, is pin, making sure all three are in a sandwich. Yep. Is pin pin all three together, and then yep, we're going to do a 1/4 inch seam all the way down there.